What? Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, show, ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show.
Baby, I got your money.
You're now tuned into the financial motivator himself, Ash Cash, Mr. Mind Right, Money Right. Money Right. Money Right.
Welcome, y'all to Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you go to the ashcashshow.com, subscribe to the podcast, go to ashcashtv.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel. For those who missed it last night, we debuted the Path to Prosperity podcast. Make sure y'all go to pathtoprosperityshow.com, right? pathtoprosperityshow.com, because that is where you're gonna see the show. We just dropped it last night, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. A new episode drops. Make sure y'all check it out. It is one of the most powerful things that you're gonna see. Three brothers who are different, right? I promise you, we different. We have fun. We're vulnerable, but we also are teaching a lot too. So make sure y'all go to pathtoprosperityshow.com. Check out the podcast. All right, no further ado, because this is the one, right? Today we're gonna talk about detachment, right? I believe, and a lot of times when I say stuff, it's probably because I've experienced it too. I'm never coming from a place like I know it all, right? I'm never coming from a place that I know it all. I'm always coming from a place of of my experience tells me, because I can only talk about my experience. I can't really talk about somebody else's experience. I do not like to theorize, so I never like to be like, oh, this is in theory, right? So what I do, I'm just so y'all can be clear, what I like to do is I like to feel my feelings first, right? I like to feel my feelings first, right? And then once I feel my feelings and I go through stuff or whatever, I then I look for answers. And then when I find like a law, I don't really focus on other people's, like what other people say. I actually look for if it's not in the Bible, if it's not in the Quran, if it's not in the Torah, if it's not a universal law, meaning law of attraction, like there's not even law of attraction because there's 101 universal laws. And so if it's not one of those four things, I don't really like that's where I get my source from, right? I get my source from those four things, right? And so I look at these things and then match it up with my experience, and that's how I come to my conclusions. That's how I'll be like, all right, this is what it is. But even if I say it, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you. So today we're going to talk about law of detachment, right? And I want to read this for you. This is my caption for today. It says, sometimes you have to let go of things that no longer serve you. Allow yourself to detach from people, feelings, and situations that are no longer helping you grow. Focus on the positive and those who bring you joy and support. Remind yourself that things don't work out. That things that don't work out have their own purpose in life, right? Appreciate them for the lessons and experiences they bring. Allow yourself to detach from the worries of the world and take time for yourself. Enjoy the small moments and appreciate the present. When it comes to detachment, it's okay to take a step back, move away from the damaging and toxic people and things that stand in the way of your inner peace and growth. This is your way, this is your journey, and you have the power to create the life that you want, right? And so we have to detach from anything that doesn't feel right? But then we also, right, catch this, we also have to detach from the things that feel good, right? Meaning that the universe only, where's the book? Yeah, I wish I had the book with me. I have it somewhere here. Hold on, let me see. I have it somewhere. The universe only, I'm trying to look for the book. So our book for the month is our book of the month is Deepak Chopra, the 7 spiritual laws of success, right? And one of the laws, right? One of the laws is the law of detachment, right? Is the law of detachment. And he breaks down the law of detachment meaning, right? The law of detachment meaning that anytime you're asking God, the universe for something, and you're attached to the outcome of the thing, you're signaling to the universe that you're in a state of want. And because you're in a state of want, God, the universe, is always going to say yes. So it's going to give you what you're asking for. Does that make sense? Right? And I like, I'm like drop in the chat if it makes sense or don't. Like, nah, I'm confused, or nah, it makes sense, because I want to make sure y'all understand this. Right? I want to make sure. So drop it in the chat, because I want to make sure that I'm explaining this right. Right? Meaning that the energy, right? You will always get back from God the energy that you put out there. Right? All right. Monique says repeat. Yes, it makes sense. All right. Makes sense. All right. But I'm gonna repeat it again. Right? You're only gonna get back the energy that you give. Right? Got you. So somebody says it's a little confusing. So I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna do my best to explain it. Right? So you only get back the energy that you give. Right? Meaning that if you are in an energy of wanting something, right? Like I want, then God, the universe, is going to give you what you're asking for. And so if you're in a state of want, then you're either, something has to be taken away, or you're never going to get what you're asking for. I'll give you this. Right? I have a let me not put the brand, you know what I'm saying, because they're not paying me. You know what I'm saying? But look, I have a bottle, it don't matter. I have a bottle of water. Right? I have a bottle of water. And so if right now I say, man, I am thirsty. I want some water. And this water is right in my face though. Right? The water is right in my face. And I'm like, I want a bottle of water. And so guess what? If I have the bottle of water and I'm still asking for a bottle of water, then I'm in a state of want. And so the water it has to fall out to give me what I'm asking for. Right? The water has to fall out. I have to not have water to be in a state of wanting water, because the water's right there. So again, if I'm asking for something that I already have, right? If I'm asking for something that I already have, and I'm saying I want, right? And so I'm in the state of wanting something, and so I'm going to be constantly in a state of wanting, which is why the state that we should, like yesterday, right? If you remember yesterday, where Abraham Hicks was like, it's done. It's done. Right? So if there's a desire for more money, don't want more money, just say thank you for the money, because it's done. Right? Like, thank you for the multi-millions that's in your account. Right? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the genuine relationships. Thank you for, right? Like, you just have to say thank you, because the moment that you have the desire, it is done. And so same thing like detachment. That's why it's like, oh, I need it, right? Like if there's something that you desire and you're like, I need it, and you're attached to the thing, right? And you're attached to the thing, what winds up happening is you have to stay in a state of needing it. There's this energy of desperation. There's this energy of of you signaling to the universe that you don't have it, and that energy is what's repelling it away from you. Right? All right, and so let me let the author, right? Let me let Deepak tell you more about it. So let's see if
Mind Right Radio,
let's see if
your
we
number
can
one
explain it better.
source for mind elevation.
The sixth spiritual law of success is the law of detachment.
Law of detachment.
The law of detachment says that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This doesn't mean you give up the intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention, and
Matter of fact, bring that back, selector. Bring that back, selector.
Mind Right Radio,
I
your
think it sound
number
better
one
with the beat.
source
Let's
for
go.
mind
Let's
elevation.
go. Let's go.
The sixth spiritual law of success is the law of detachment. The law of detachment says that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This doesn't mean you give up the intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention.
Hey, but hold on. That ain't genius though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nobody do this better, right? That ain't genius. Law of detachment, meaning that you got to detach from the thing that you want. And then what beat do I use? I use Ice Munch. Oh, you thought I was feeling you? Like detachment. Nah, like, oh, you thought y'all don't get the irony about me using the beat. I don't think y'all got that. I said, oh, you thought I was feeling you? It's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like detach it. It's like, y'all get it? Nah? All right.
Mind Right Radio,
My fault.
your number one
My fault.
source for
Oh, you
mind
thought I was feeling
elevation.
you? Let's go.
The sixth spiritual law of success is the law of detachment. The law of detachment says that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This doesn't mean you give up the intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention, and you don't give up the desire.
New tracks
You
coming
give
soon.
up your attachment to the result. This is a very powerful thing to do. You still have the intention, one-pointed intention, one-pointed desire, but you relinquish your attachment to the result. And the moment you relinquish your attachment to the result, combining one-pointed intention with detachment at the same time, you will have that which you desire. The source of wealth, of abundance, of anything in the world is the self. It is the consciousness that knows how to fulfill a need. Everything else is a symbol. Cars and houses and banknotes and clothes and airplanes, these are symbols. Symbols are transitory. They come and go. Chasing symbols is like settling for the map instead of the territory. It creates anxiety. It ends up making you feel hollow and empty inside because you exchange yourself for the symbols of yourself. Anything that exists in the physical universe can be acquired by relinquishing your attachment to it.
Relinquish your attachment.
Attachment comes from poverty consciousness.
Attachment comes from poverty consciousness, right? Poverty consciousness. That's where attachment comes from. People are attached because of poverty consciousness. Let's go.
Because attachment is always to symbols. Detachment is synonymous with wealth consciousness because with detachment, there is freedom to create. Then the symbols of wealth are created spontaneously and effortlessly. Only from detached involvement can one have joy and laughter. Without detachment, we are prisoners of helplessness, hopelessness, mundane needs, trivial concerns, quiet desperation, and seriousness, the distinctive features of everyday mediocre existence and poverty consciousness. People are constantly seeking security. Even attachment to money is a sign of insecurity.
Yo, check this. People are always seeking security, right? And it's so crazy because a lot of times people think that the more money they have, the more secure they are, which is sometimes the opposite, right? It be the people with the most money that are mostly insecure, right? Because they're so attached. They're attached to the lifestyle. They're attached to fame. They're attached to the access. They're attached. Like they're attached. They're so attached to, like, a lot people who have a lot of worldly possessions are more insecure than people who don't, right? Because a lot of times they're so attached to what this worldly possession gives them that they're so insecure. They're always in protection mode. Like they really can't even enjoy, right? They can't even enjoy their lots because they always on the lookout. They always you know, they're in protection mode, right? So that's where, like, and again, the law of detachment doesn't, like, I promise you, the law of detachment does not mean you cannot enjoy, like, you can't enjoy the things. No, just detach from them, right? Just detach from them. That's why I always, right? Let me tell you, you know, two phrases have saved my life, right? All praises due to God, and it's in God's will. Those two phrases, right? Those two phrases. Again, I don't care what you believe, but if you hold on to those two phrases, right? If you hold on to those two phrases, all praises due to God, right? And everything is in God's will. If you hold on to those two phrases, you will live in peace. I promise you, right? Why? Because what happens is when something good happens and you're enjoying something, you always have to give thanks to the source, right? A lot of us are giving thanks, right? We're so attached to the thing that we give thanks to the thing, right? Even if we don't verbally say thank you money, or thank you fame, or thank you access, or even if we don't directly say these things, we're so attached to these things that that's where we put all our attention. But for me, anything that happens, I know is God. God is the source, right? You know, we used this example earlier. If I go to the ATM machine and I put my card into the ATM machine and the ATM machine gives me money, am I praising the ATM machine? Right? Like, am I praising the ATM machine or no? I have to give thanks to the account that the money's in, because without the account, I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it, right? Without the actual account, right? Without the actual account, I wouldn't have the money, right? And so I gotta say thank you to the source, right? That's a bar right there, Marcia. Marcia says God is the source. Everything else is a resource. Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar, right? God is the source. Everything is a resource that comes from the source, right? And so I give all praises to God. Glory to God, right? All praises to God, because everything that happens, and I know, so here's the other thing though too. This is why detachment works for me, because I already know that God is working for my greater good, right? Which means that even if something happens and it's less desirable to me, I trust God. And so I give glory to God for that too, right? I give glory to God for the things that's undesirable, because I know that this undesirable thing has happened to get me closer to what I actually desire, right? And so all praises due to God, right? Is the one phrase, and then everything in God's will, right? And so everything happens in divine timing. It doesn't happen in your timing. And so you may be wanting something or have a desire for something, and you're so attached to having it now, you're attached to the way you want it to happen. But at the end of the day, it's like, nah, it happens in God's will, right? It happens in God's will. So those two phrases help me. Like, save my life. This is what keeps me, I'm going to use the word humble. I don't like to use the word humble, right? I don't like to use the word humble because of the dictionary definition of humble, right? Hey, Lo, what up? the dictionary definition of humble. That's why I don't like using the word. But for this purposes, I'm gonna say that's why, that's what keeps me humble, right? Grounded. I like grounded, right? See, look, Marcia coming with the words today. I appreciate you, right? Grounded. That's what keeps me grounded. Yeah, I like grounded. We're not gonna use humble because I want to show I'm never less than. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never gonna show humbleness, if you will, but I like grounded. Grounded is the one, right? Grounded is the one. Like, this is what keeps me grounded, because I know that everything that happens in my life happens in divine timing. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go.
And you will find that this seeking of security is actually a very ephemeral thing.
No
You might say,
security,
when I
y'all.
have
God's
$6
your
million,
security.
then I'll be secure.
Yeah.
Then I'll be financially independent and I will retire. Then I will do all the things I really want to do. But it never happens. Never happens. The need for security is based on not knowing the true self. Those who seek security chase it for a lifetime without ever finding it. It remains elusive and ephemeral because security can never come from money alone. Attachment to money will always create insecurity, no matter how much money you have in the bank. In fact, some of the people who have the most money are the most insecure. True wealth consciousness is the ability to have anything you want, anytime you want, and with least effort. To be grounded in this experience, you have to be grounded in the wisdom of uncertainty.
Peace.
In this uncertainty, you will find freedom to create anything you want. Security and certainty are a result of rigid attachment to the known.
Attachment to the known.
However, the known is nothing other than the prison of past conditioning. Uncertainty, on the other hand, is the fertile ground of pure creativity and freedom. Uncertainty is the same thing as stepping into the unknown in every moment of our existence. The unknown is the field of all possibilities, ever fresh, ever new, always open to the creation of new manifestations. Without uncertainty and the unknown, life is just the stale repetition of outworn memories. You become the victim of the past, and your tormentor today is yourself, left over from yesterday. The search for security is an illusion. In Vedic wisdom, the answer to this whole search is what we call the wisdom of insecurity, or the wisdom of uncertainty, which means that this search for security is actually an attachment to the known. And what's the known? The known is...
Wait, hold on. That means the desire for security is an attachment to the known, right? But what is the known?
Known is our past.
The known is our past. Wow. And so when we are attached to the known, right? When we are focused on possibilities, or what we think are possibilities, we're closing ourselves to the real possibilities, because our past is limited, right? Our past is limited, which means that there are infinite possibilities, right, to get to our desires. And so those infinite possibilities are what we have to stay open to. So we have to be open for uncertainty, open to the unknown, in order to really manifest what we desire.
It's just a prison.
It's a prison.
Past conditioning.
Security is a prison.
There's no evolution in that. Absolutely no evolution at all. And when there is no evolution, there is stagnation, entropy, disorder, and decay. Relinquish your attachment to the known. Step into the unknown, and you will step into the field of all possibilities. In your willingness to step into the unknown, you will have the wisdom of uncertainty factored in. And this means that in every moment of your life, you will have excitement, adventure, mystery. You will experience the fun of life and have an exuberance and zest for living. Every day,
Max,
you can
what
look
up?
for the excitement of
Hey,
what may
Mania, what up?
occur in that field of all possibilities. When you experience uncertainty, you are on the right path. So don't give it up. You don't need to have any idea of what you'll be doing next week or next year, because if you have a
Gina,
very
what
clear
up?
idea of what's going to happen and you get rigidly attached to it, then you shut out a whole range of possibilities. One characteristic of the field of all possibilities is infinite correlation. The field can orchestrate an infinity of space-time events to bring about the outcome that is intended. But when you are attached, your intention gets locked into a rigid mindset and you lose the fluidity, the creativity, and the spontaneity inherent in the field. When you get attached,
The flare.
you freeze your desire
Alaikum
from that
assalam.
infinite fluidity and flexibility into a rigid framework which interferes with the whole process of creation. Now, this doesn't take away from the law of intention, from goal setting. It's simply saying that you want to go in that direction, you have this goal, but between point A and point B, there's an infinity of possibilities.
Infinity.
With uncertainty factored in,
Listen, from point A to point B, there is infinity possibilities, right? And so law of detachment says, you know what? Let me detach to. Here's a better thing too, right? Yo, let's detach from thinking that we know how something's gonna happen, right? So, like, you know, I have this desire, right? I have this desire, and should I put? I mean, let me put this out here. I'm gonna put this out here. T Mac, what up? I'm gonna put this out here, right? So, my wife and I have been. We have this desire, right? We have the desire for this property, right? And it's a perfect property. Perfect. It's like it's the right amount of land because we're looking to purchase a lot of land. Has all the right structures on it. You know, has like a lake on it. Has 2 structures on it that's really helpful for us. You know what I'm saying? For like guests and things of that nature. We want to start growing our own food, so the land is cleared out already, so where we could grow our own food. You know, I'm a hooper, and so I, want to make sure there's a basketball court on it, and that's already there. You know, there's this big structure, right? Big structure that has, like a space for RV, and that's where I want to like build a studio, right? And so last year, right? Last year, I'm talking about perfect property. So last year, we had the funds and everything to purchase the property, right? And so we make an offer on the property, and from day one, and this was like last year, right? From day one, every time we kept trying to get the property, there was something that happened. And we came to the conclusion, right? We came to a conclusion. We was like, the seller doesn't want to sell it, right? And as we did background information, we were like, yeah, the seller doesn't want to sell it, right? And so we were so attached, right? There was so much attachment, right? There was so much attachment to the property. There was so much attachment to like, this is perfect. I ain't gonna lie, like, I was like, man, I wouldn't say like depressed, but I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like I can't believe that this property, you know what I'm saying? We can't get this property, right? So now, property falls through. And in fact, we watched somebody else, right? We watched somebody else try to get the property too. And we thought the property was gone, but it didn't sell, right? And so now, the property's still available, right? But we've detached ourselves, right? So we detached ourselves from this particular property, right? And so we said, you know what? We know what we want, right? We know what we want, but how we're going to get it is none of our business. Because we thought, right? We thought that we got the money, Like, what else is there? Because in the past, right? Catch where I'm going with this. In the past, that was the only barrier. We're like, yo, if I got the money, right? If I got the money and somebody's selling something, that's all that it should take. Right? But guess what? Sometimes that's not what it all takes. I know people right now, who have all the money in the world, but they can't get what they desire because they think, right? Because in their mind, they're attached. Catch where I'm going with this. They're attached with the one way. They're attached to what they know. They're attached. It's like, yo, if I got money and you're selling this thing, let me pay you and I'm going to get the thing. But money can't buy everything, right? Money can't buy everything. Sometimes it's relationship. Sometimes it's keeping an open mind. And so when we talk about the law of detachment, it's really detaching yourself from all outcomes, right? Like, I know we're going to get a property soon, right? The perfect property. If it's that property, then great. If it's not that property, then whatever, right? But I know we're going to get the property, the exact property that we want, because we're not attached to how it's going to happen, right? It's infinite possibilities, right? Somebody like a property exactly like the one I'm looking for could fall right on my lap without me even looking for it, right? Because money's not, like, right, Tony? Money's not the only currency.
You might change direction in any moment if you find a higher ideal or if you find something more exciting.
Yep.
Then you're also less likely to force solutions on problems, which enables you to stay alert to opportunities. That's the whole process of evolution. You don't force solutions.
We don't force solutions.
When you force solutions on problems, you only create new problems. But when you put your attention,
matter of fact, let me give you, look, Reg, this is a true story though. Let me tell you this story, right? So, and this is another law of detachment kind of thing, right? And so, shout out to Reggie Miller. If y'all need any properties, holla at my guy, right? R Miller Live, right? But let me tell you this true story. So, I got my videographer. I got a videographer, and when we shoot inside the vault, we're using a spot that I absolutely love, right? But I said, yo, I got all this content. I want a spot on my own. I want to build my own set. I want a spot on my own. Reggie was helping us buy a building last year, right? And the building fell through. Somebody else bought the building. It was a 12,000 square feet. If y'all remember, there was a building we were supposed to buy. The building fell through. And so we didn't buy the building. So now we're still looking for a perfect building to buy, right? To build build out a space, right? But guess what? I said, you know what? Let me just lease something in the meantime. Let me just lease something in the meantime while we're still looking to buy a building, right? To build a studio, event space, the Abundance Center is what I'm going to call it, right? And so I reach out to my videographer and I said, yo, I want to get a spot, right? I want to get a spot to release. So he sends me a list of spots, right? He sends me 3 spots, right? He sent me 3 spots. I go, right? And Reg, you don't know this yet. I go to 2 of the spots. One spot I didn't like, right? One spot, like, I didn't like where it was situated, and I have to be mindful of my guests. So I said, nah, this one is out. So it's 2 left. The one that I actually really liked, right? Said they had 2 lofts available, right? They had 2 lofts available, and then it was right around New Year's, so nobody was there. As soon as New Year's opened, somebody grabbed those 2. Me and my wife, we visited spots, and nothing. So then there was this spot that I wanted, right? So now this other spot that lost the location, didn't have the right amount of parking. So we're like, I bet. So my videographer recommends me to this spot, right? My videographer recommends me to this spot that has tons of parking, has a lot of space available, and I go there, right? Me and my wife go. We go and we go to the leasing office because it's right before New Year's. The lady says, the property manager is not available. Leave me your number. The property manager is going to call you back. I say, bet. Property manager never calls, right? So my wife and I, we like, yo, we need a spot. So we go again to the same spot. We go to the same spot. And we go there and we say, yo, you know what I'm saying? And this time the property manager is there, but the property manager needed to work by appointment. So same thing, same lady takes down our name and says he'll call you back. He's right there, but he's like, he'll call you back, I bet. So we really wanted this spot, but we're like, nah, I'm done. We went 2 times. We busy, you know what I mean? We went 2 times. You know what? I'm done. I'm out. I ain't doing this no more. So I said, yo, let me just hit up Reg. Let me just see what Reg knows. Because Reg is going to help us buy the building. And here's the thing. I wasn't going to reach out to Reg because I didn't know if Reg had access to leasing. I thought Reg, you know what I mean? Reg's big time. I said, Reg's big time. So I'm like, Reg ain't going to help me. You know what I mean? Reg ain't going to help me with this little lease. Like, we buying $1 million buildings and stuff. Like, he ain't going to help me with this little lease. So that's why I didn't reach out. But I said, you know what? Maybe Reg knows somebody or whatever. You know what I mean? So I reach out to Reg, and he said, I got you. Let me look around, right? Guess what happens? Reg follows up with me and found me a spot in the same location that I just went back to twice. No lie. The same location, and Reg, I didn't tell you this, the same location that the guy, the property manager was supposed to call me 2 times and never called me. The same location, Reg said, yo, Ash, I got a spot for you. But guess what he said? He said, yo, this spot is already fully furnished. It's fully furnished. It got everything you need. The use of it has actually been used the way you want to use it. Which means what? Which means that had I got it myself, right? Had I got it myself, I probably would have got like a raw space that I probably would have to build out even more. What I'm saying is that this space is perfect and exactly built out the way, like they're using it. Whoever had it before is using it exactly the way I intend to use it. So when I say that, the perfect property came, right? The perfect property came when I detached myself, right? I detached myself. Like I was trying to be in control. But I detached myself from the outcome. I said, yo, you know what? I'm good. I detached myself, right? But the exact property, the exact thing that I was looking for, the price that I was looking for, everything kind of worked out. And there were things that Reg offered in that deal that I didn't even think of, that I didn't even know I wasn't even looking for it, right? And so that's a real life example of the law of detachment. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I was in desperation mode. You know why? Because I'm shooting on January 31st. And so I was like, I don't want to rent another spot on the 31st. I want to shoot from my own spot. And so in desperation mode, I was like, yo, I want to hurry up. That's why, like, during the break, like right before New Year's, I'm going to all these spots because I'm trying to lock in a spot, because in my mind, my limited thinking, my limited mind wanted it to happen so that I could get it up and running by the 31st, right? But once I detached from that, I said, you know what? If I get it by the 31st, then cool. If I got to rent a spot again for the 31st, cool. I don't care, right? Law of detachment is really like, yo, it's the art of not giving of flying. That's what the law of detachment is. The law of detachment is not being so attached to it that if it happens, it like if it doesn't happen, it kills your mood. You know what I'm saying?
Tension on the uncertainty. And you witness the uncertainty while you expectantly wait for the solution to emerge out of the chaos and the confusion, that what emerges is something very fabulous, something very exciting. This state of alertness, your preparedness in the present, in the field of uncertainty, meets with your goal and your intention and allows you to seize the opportunity. What's the opportunity? It's contained within every problem that you have in your life. Every single problem that you have in your life is the seed of an opportunity for some greater benefit in your life.
Every problem is an opportunity,
And when
y'all.
you have that perception, you open up to a whole range of possibilities.
Ty, what up,
And
Ty?
this keeps the mystery,
Everything happens in
the wonder,
its timing,
the
brother.
excitement, the adventure alive. You can look upon every problem that you have in your life as an opportunity for some greater benefit. You stay alert to opportunities by being grounded in the wisdom of uncertainty. And when your preparedness meets opportunity, the solution will spontaneously appear. What comes out of that is called good luck. Good luck is nothing but preparedness and
Relationships,
opportunity coming together.
Currency
When
of
the two are mixed
relationships.
together with an alert witnessing of the chaos, a solution emerges that will be of evolutionary benefit to you and to all those that you come into contact with. This, then, is the perfect recipe for success, and it is based on the law of detachment.
All right, y'all. I got one more though. I got one more because I think I'm gonna have Wayne Dyer talk to us a little bit, right? For those who are part of the abundance community, I'll have this track up later today. So if you're part of the abundance community, or it's gonna be on the Mind Right Radio app. So Mind Right Radio, we have an app on iOS. So if you go to the App Store and just type in Mind Right Radio, you'll be able to listen to our 24/7 inspirational station. Those who want to download this track, it'll be available inside of the abundance community. You can join by going to www.abundancecommunity.org. So abundancecommunity.org. We building something powerful. So make sure y'all tap in. Hey yo, Ty, send me a DM because there's still ways that we could tap in. So even though the boot camp didn't happen, there's still ways that we could tap in. So send me I'll hit you on the text so we could tap in. All right. So look, abundancecommunity.org. All right, we're gonna end. It's 10 o'clock, but let me end it. Let me end it with Wayne Dyer. Last one, Wayne Dyer, because Wayne Dyer is going to explain one more time, right? We're gonna explain one more time detachment. Let's go.
First principle says, as Talopa put it, have a mind that is open to everything.
Open to everything.
And attached to nothing.
And attached to nothing.
One of the central principles of my life is that no one knows enough to be a pessimist.
Nobody knows enough to be a pessimist.
And that each and every one of us, when we close our mind to what is possible for us or what is possible for humanity, closes off the genius that resides and lives in each and every one of us. But a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing is a mind that says, I'm never looking for anything to be offended by. And that whatever anybody else out there has to say, my response to that is, that's an interesting point of view. I've never considered that before. Things that Emerson said is in one of his very first essays, he says the first thing we have to say respecting what are called new views here in New England, where we are right now, is that they are not new.
Yeah.
But the very oldest of thoughts cast into the mold of these new times. Progress is impossible if you always do things the way you've always done things. But the other word in this, what Talopa said, is be attached nowhere.
Be attached nowhere, y'all.
Nowhere. Attachment really means I am
Ty, what
deluding
up?
myself into a belief
brother
that if
Ty
I
in the
can't
building.
have or if I can't do this or that thing, then somehow I'm going to become immobilized. So an open mind that is detached. In my most recent book, A Spiritual Solution to Every Problem, I have an observation. And it's an observation from Anthony DeMello, a man I respect enormously, a priest, who, in The Way to Love, puts it this way. Here's a great test for your relationships, especially the relationships that you're in with those whom you love, not your children, but your spouses and your lovers and so on. Try this test on for size. 1, I am not really attached to you at all. I am merely deluding myself into the belief that without you, I will not be happy. And 2, and here's the toughest test for non-attachment. I leave you free to be yourself, to think your thoughts, indulge your tastes, follow your inclinations, behave in ways that you decide are to your liking. Most of us do in our relationships, and why they are not as successful as we would like them to be is that we become attached and we tell ourselves that if this person behaves in a way that I find offensive, then I can't be happy. I make my happiness, my fulfillment dependent upon those people that I love being what I think that they should be. And detachment doesn't mean being a victim. It just simply means I know that I can make my life fulfilled and happy by having a mind that is open to everything and attached nowhere. The second principle is a very simple principle. It says you can't give away what you don't have.
You can't give away what you don't have.
Now, it sounds ridiculous, okay? But it's more than what meets the ear as you hear this. You can't give away what you don't have. People who are not good at giving away love can't give away love because they don't have it to give away.
Uh-oh.
If I want to give you a dozen oranges, I can't give you those dozen oranges unless I go out and pick up 12 oranges someplace. Otherwise, all it is just empty rhetoric. And the same thing is true of virtually everything in your life. You can't give away love for others if you don't have love in here to give away. If what you have in here is contempt, if what you have in here is anger, if what you have in here is fear, then these are the things you're going to be giving away in your life. There's a law, sort of a law in the universe. I call it the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is one that works like this. You get back from the universe, from the world, what it is that you put out there.
You get what you put out there.
And if you're putting out there into the world that I am not worthy of attracting something beautiful into my life, that the universe will respond back to you with exactly that message. The ocean of abundance is there, and you can go to that ocean of abundance, and you can take a Mack truck, and you can fill it up 20 times a day, and take it out of there, and guess what? It doesn't impact at all the ocean of abundance. It doesn't even go down a zillionth of an inch. It's unlimited. Or you can go to the same ocean of abundance with a eyedropper, and you can just take this much out once a month and say, that's all that seems to be available for me. And the interesting thing for me is that when people go to this ocean of abundance, this unlimited world, all that I have is thine, it says in the holy books. All that I have is thine. It's all there for you. But if you believe inside that it's limited, that you can only get so much, that other people are going to get it before you do, then you'll find yourself creating that very same thing. And the even more interesting part about this, you can't give away what you don't have principle, is that if your message to the universe is gimme, gimme,
Gimme, gimme,
gimme,
gimme.
which is a lot of people's message to the universe. I want this from you. I want that from you. Please give me this. I have to have that. That's what their prayer is like. That's what their message is. You know, and they say, I want this from the universe. Gimme, gimme, gimme. The universe's response back to that kind of a mentality is exactly the same. The
Gimme,
universe
gimme,
will say
gimme.
right back to you over and over again, gimme, gimme, gimme. And you'll find yourself never, ever arriving, but always being in a state of striving. Always feeling as if you're being neglected. Never feeling as if you have enough. Always feeling as if you're being shortchanged, because you're constantly under the pressure to give, to get back what the universe is demanding from you. And the interesting thing about all of this, the irony of this, is that if you shift that and you say to the universe, to the world, how may I serve? How may I serve? The universe's response back to you is, how may I serve you? How may I serve you? So I shifted that energy off of what can I have into what can I give. It seemed to me that the universe responded back with the very same message. What can I give to you? And the most incredible and wonderful and beautiful abundance has flowed into my life in every way that I can possibly think of. You can't give away what you don't
Can't
have.
give away what you don't have.
So take a look at an inventory of what you do have. How much do you love yourself?
How much do you love yourself?
How much kindness do you have in you?
Yeah.
How much peace do you have in you? How much joy do you have in you? And if you're able to give that away as many times as you can in a given day, watch and see how much more of that continues to show up and come back in your life. The third principle is one of my very favorites. It's called, there are no justified resentments. And what kind of anger comes directed towards you, no matter how much hate you may encounter showing up in your life, there are no justified resentments. Meaning that if you carry around resentment inside of you about anything or about anyone, and I'm talking about the person that you lent money to and hasn't paid you back, I'm talking about the person in your life that you feel was abusive in your life. I'm talking about the person who walked out on you and left you for somebody else. I'm talking about all of the things that you have justified in your heart and in your life that you have the right to be resentful about. And I'm suggesting to you that those resentments will always end up harming you. No one ever dies from a snake bite. A snake bite will never kill you. You cannot be unbitten. Once you're bitten, you're bitten. But it's the venom, that continues to pour through your system after the bite that will end up destroying you. If you become steadfast in your abstentions of thoughts of harm directed towards others, all living creatures will cease to feel enmity in your presence.
You are now tapped
All right,
in
y'all.
and tuned in. MindRightRadio.com.
All right, y'all. Law of the detachment, everything, y'all. Make sure this month's book. So what y'all heard earlier was Deepak Chopra, The Law of Detachment. I'm gonna put that on the inside of the app, inside of Abundance Community. That is our book for the month, Doc. I was trying to find it so I could show it to y'all, but I can't find it nowhere. I don't know. It's somewhere here. But the book of the month that we're reading for January inside of the Abundance Community is the 7 spiritual laws of success. Right? The 7 spiritual laws of success by Deepak Chopra. Make sure y'all tap in. Yeah. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in every Monday through Friday. Make sure y'all tune in Inside the Vault tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got my brother Van Taylor, Mike Barron on the show. Gonna give you the psychology, right? The psychology of sales. Very important. If you have a product, service, and you want to learn how to create a mass movement, this is the show that you need to tap into. I'll see y'all later. Deepak Chopra, the book is Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Law of detachment is law number 6. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all once again. Thank y'all for tapping in. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow in God's will. In God's will. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Peace.
I ain't talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth.
Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show.
Baby, I got your money.
You are now tuned in to the Ash Cash Show, your #1 source for financial motivation. Get your mind and your money right.